So personally, I think that when you're doing online, you have a lot more to think about than you do when you're in person. What I mean by that is you need to make sure your technology is solid. You need to make sure that you're in a space where you can hopefully not be interrupted. You've got to make sure that your webcams works, that your microphone works. Like, you've got to make sure that your foundations are solid, right? And then on top of that, you then got to learn how to use the tool properly. So like Zoom, and we're using Zoom right now, but if you're using Zoom, which most people are going to be doing, you've got WebEx, you've got a bunch of other tools, but most people are going to use Zoom. You've got to learn, and I'll be honest, the more I use it, the more I'm like, there's a few features I'm like, this is not intuitive at all. Like, why can you not just do this? And this is quite clunky. And so my gift to people listening to this is this: if you're doing online presentations, it's okay to say at the start, look, I'm presenting time, we're using these tools, I might look a bit awkward as I'm trying to figure out this technology to get, the presentation bear with me.
And you did that last week, I remember.
But you have to, because but again, it's honest, it's true. I'm not saying that.
I like that.
Because it's true. It was my first webinar that I was doing, and I was like, we had 150.
You said, Mark, I still remember. You said something like, "Bear with me while I pretend I know what I'm doing," which I don't. And I remember that. I liked it.
Well, because we all try and pretend, and when you pretend, it's so much harder. It just is. Just life is harder. So, but here's what I would say: be really, really clear about your presentation, your deck. And online, you need to do way more engagement with people than you would in person. And engagement simply says, like, I start all my talks by saying, hey, before we begin, let me know, can you hear me? And can you see me? Just give me a thumbs up or a yes. Okay. Then the next slide is like, let me know where you're tuning in from. Where are you listening from? Where are you? And like, do you remember on the webinar, it was amazing, man. We had people from New Zealand, Argentina.
US.
I mean, it was crazy. People, so you read people out, there were comments, and you keep people engaged. So you have to break up your chunks of delivery with engagement, way more than you do in person. So like in a 60-minute virtual workshop that I run, I probably have 6 to 10 at least touch points where I engage and I ask them questions and to respond. And that would be the biggest difference. And also, you've got to remember that camera saps about 10 to 15% of your energy. So even if you don't feel like it, you can come across way more gloomy and doomy online than you would do in person. So you've got to be a little bit more kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say don't perform, because that's not, I don't want you to perform. I want you to connect. But I would say you've got to engage and be really on it. So manage your energy, Bakar says this best. He says, you want to build a team, but you can't even manage your team. And he talks about time, energy, attention, and money. And one of them is your energy. Like, you've got to manage your energy. And so you've got to show up on the call ready. You've got to be on time. You've got to learn the technology. You've got to do all that stuff. Like, because you've got extra layers to take care of that you wouldn't normally. Like up until COVID-19, I would get people to book the stuff for me. So I would get on a plane, I'd get flown out, I'd show up, I'd check in my hotel, I'd run for my talk, I'd go at the events, I'd rock up on stage, give my talk, get the applause, and go. And it was so much easier, just in terms of the deck I had to prepare and all that stuff. But now I'm having a lot of fun. Like I'm averaging about 3 talks a week at the moment online. And I think it's a very cool tool. You've got to also acknowledge that a lot of people are tired and are completely zoomed out.